I should probably like start talking. Just did some research. Just googled quickly if you have 0 viewers or 10,000 viewers, you're supposed to still talk like you have people there, or like you can't read chat anyway. So I'm gonna try and speak through my process a little bit while I do this. Kind of what I'm thinking about. So on this one in particular, I've been doing some thumbnail designs. Kind of push some portfolio work that might go for the art style of like Naughty Dog and stuff like that. I kind of think it matches some of the other stuff that's already in my portfolio. And I'm a huge fan of the Uncharted series, so I'm going to try and go for an Uncharted inspired piece. I'm kind of putting together some thumbnails here based off of some references I've pulled from the Uncharted concept art. And I want to try and replicate this idea of like discovering something ancient, whether it's buried between rocks or mountains or in the open. I like this in the open design, so I'm going to try and go for something similar here. It has quite a high it has quite a high vanish, like perspective line though. So I kind of want to try and mimic that. I'm not really sure what this green line is there. That's how it's going on. Okay, so maybe like that. So now I want to bring the kind of floor plane up. Kind of around here, leave the foreground in darkness. The talking is actually really helpful. Always interesting to know what you're thinking about and why you make certain decisions. Hey man. How do you pronounce your name? Sadorake? Sadorake? Thanks for chatting. How are you, bro? Thing is, it's one of those ones where like, if no one's here, why would I talk? I kind of want to wait for someone to interact. But I'm not even streaming to, it's basically just to document my own process. In terms of like this kind of art I do, Saderake. Cool. Keep it in mind. It's more just to document my art journey. So like I kind of dove straight into photo bashing and then 3D and then kind of matte painting on top of that. And I ended up neglecting a lot of the early stage stuff, the actual concept stuff. And some advice I've gotten from my portfolio is to show more sketches and working out on actual concept stuff. So for this project, I'm going to try and do some like these kind of thumbnails, and I'm going to take the one I like the most into 3D and then iterate on that. And then from there, I'm going to try and design the elements of, well, I guess the concept. So what the towers might look like if I go for a tower, or what the walls will look like, the engravings, kind of do some call out sheets, and then hopefully put the piece together. And that should, in an ideal world, result in a good portfolio piece where I've also practiced some fundamentals. And I've got this issue where I watch like a lot of speed paints, so I've got it in my head that I need to draw or paint really quickly. So I'm also trying to use streaming to slow my process down a lot, just kind of be a little bit more intentional. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I definitely had like I studied under. How do you find game dev at uni? That's crazy. No, I was gonna say I'm yet to hear good anecdotal evidence from someone that studied game design at uni or dev or art at uni, and they say something positive about it. No, the UK blows as well. You kind of need to go to like, I don't even know if I'd ever recommend anyone to take game dev at uni. I feel like either animation is the play, or maybe like film, and then you could, because everything you get taught in uni is actually genuinely online. Like, there is nothing, I think, a game, unless you thrive in like a community-based environment, but then you can probably just get that from Discord if it's like we're in the digital era. I don't know. I think if I could go back, I would study probably animation. Instead of putting all of my eggs into game design. Like, it's one of the it's got to be one of the only degrees you can go to uni for where having the degree doesn't actually guarantee you any sort of job. Yeah, I think I fully agree. If I could go back myself, I would love to have done animation. Maybe go into more viz dev stuff. It's stuff I'm going to practice myself anyway. But I would have liked to... I just don't think my tutors cared. And also my years were through COVID. And that fucked it all up, to be honest. Kind of noodling a little bit here on this tower, and honestly it's a little bit too similar to this concept here, so I might sack off the tower and put something else. But I like the idea of having this larger landscape. I think I want like I'd really like kind of a maybe like a vehicle driving through. Would be cool, I think, like a buggy. Yeah, I imagine starting during COVID was also really difficult because that's your adjustment period. And mine was during second year and then basically the whole of third year. I want to try and like imply rocks, but it's my concept, so I kind of know. Then I'm thinking like, you know, if you're working in a studio and this gets sent, well, it wouldn't get sent to anyone else but me because I'm designing it, but I guess an exec or an art director would know. We'd need to know that there's some sort of like, some sort of implication of something going on here. Yeah, it was tough and nothing I can do about it. Most things I know, self-taught. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so I was self-taught basically all through uni. And then after uni, I took a few courses where you join like a Discord group. There's like 10 slots. And there's like a lecture, and then you go away, do homework, and you get feedback. But I found, for one, no times ever linked up with the UK. It was always like you had to like 4 a.m. or wake up like 7 a.m. to go to these courses, and I'm just not. Fuck that. So then I looked for some one-to-one lessons because it's kind of the environment I thrive in more. I like to be able to ask questions and explore kind of just like brute forcing failure until I get it. And that works better in a one, like when I can ask someone one-to-one. So I went to a kind of a school called CG Verse, where I studied 3D, basically 3D concept art, and they basically teach you the foundations of everything. So they teach you the basics of Blender, and then kind of how to implement that into a concept art workflow, and then taking a render from to final. And the biggest thing I took away from that is it like helped me understand basically what I'm looking at when it comes to other people's work, so I understand how it's done. And that was the best thing to happen to me. It was like a 4-month course, and they kind of like really teach you how to fish. And now I'm kind of going back and teaching myself stuff again, like a lot of these fundamentals, like thumbnail sketching. This isn't stuff you can really teach, you just have to keep practicing it. So I'm going back and doing that and just trying to find a workflow in these early stages that works for me. So at the moment, it's kind of what I'm using streaming for, is to document that and to kind of hold myself accountable, build like routine of studying. And I'm trying out this like just pure like inking style. It's like fine, but I feel like a lot of my concepts default to very similar kind of camera angles or perspectives or ideas. So I want to try the 3D one where you just white box out a bunch of environments and just try stuff. But I think this will be more time consuming, but I might be able to get away with less thumbnails. So where I've had to do like 20 thumbnails here, I might be able to get away with like six really high quality thumbnails or 20 really loose ones. But then from my knowledge, it's like no one size fits all on like the shoe front. You need to some days this will just be better and work for you, some days it won't, and you do the 3D and you just kind of keep you just kind of get good at all of them, so that way you can bust them all out when you need. Still defaulting to weird tower or monolith in desert. Maybe it could just be. Maybe it could just be Big Rog. I don't think I want it going off the screen though. Just purely because I don't want it fighting. We can do some like maybe smaller rocks leading up to it. Kind of need to draw the viewer's eye this way, so we could have some like rocks like that, some rocks down here kind of pointing. And you got this like path leading up to it, and I definitely think I want like one of those like off-road jeeps. I had a fucking, what was that bling? Oh, thanks for the fight, man. So as we have to watch a pro, I don't know about pro. A lot of streamers do anime stuff. Yeah, bro. I mean, actually the exact same as you. A few of my friends who I've met through Twitch do like ZBrush modeling or like hard surface stuff, and it's just because I'm also not interested in watching someone draw anime. Like each to their own. But I kind of don't find it too helpful. But it's not helpful at all, really. And then I'm trying to like surround myself with kind of like-minded artists. And I've wanted to stream environment art for a while because I actually do genuinely believe there's like a little market for it. I don't see many people doing it, like kind of doing the process. So it was going to be a 2026 resolution to hop on that shit, but I think I've just started early. Fuck it, get a head start on this. I'm kind of noodling on this one though. Maybe some big old clouds. And some birds. And I'd like to try and draw a Jeep, but I don't think I got that. I don't think I got that dog in me, to be honest. You know what? Fuck it. Good enough. Is that fucking little Jeep in there? Okay, so now I guess what we need to do is go through these and kind of pick the ones I like the most. Maybe push them to, maybe push 1 or 2 to 3D. Just kind of see how we can build a scene. I'm not sure which ones I like the most though. I do like the Jeep one. Feels very Uncharted. I do like this one. But I fear this one is too similar to this concept here. So but we'll lock it in anyway. I like this one. Maybe these two. These two are quite similar. I might prefer this one though. This one, to be honest, is just this one. So we're going to sack that one off. Quite like this one. And I quite like this one. I like the second one from the top on the left. Yeah, this one here, right? Yeah. Yeah, me too. Okay, so we're gonna run it like this. I mean, obviously it wouldn't hurt. Most ArtStation posts, they do better if you have multiple images in one, so we can run up a couple. Kind of like the idea of, like, I wonder if we could steal this, maybe throw it in down here. Maybe something like this. Kind of get the skull rock in somehow. Don't know. It's the issue with working with like negative. Can I adjust two colors here? Because I don't know, maybe something like this. I feel like we'll need to bring this back a little bit. It feels like it's competing. Might be able to make all this sky actually. To bring it all right back. And kind of bring this mountain up a little bit. Yeah, it feels a bit, I don't know, I think it's fine, but it feels a bit like on the nose. This is danger, but sometimes you need that in like storytelling. Oh, I'm not sure. Kind of want to run up something simple. I feel like the best art I've done has always come from the most simplest ideas. I think I'm going to push this one. Just because I think the story is super clear. Car going to mountain. And then we can design this to be something. And then I like this. Guy arriving at Monolith. But we need to figure out what the story is. Like the setting. And I do like this one. Exploring ruins. So I think I'm going to push these three. Okay. I'm going to push the graphics tab back. Yeah. And then I'm going to load up Blender. See if we can start figuring these out. I think usually you would like save them and then bring them in, but I'm not going to do that, I don't think. I need like a intermission screen. Okay. I need to okie dokie, okie dokie. Big stream, big stream. Okay. Right. Take a screenshot of this. Let me make Blender a little bit smaller. Let me bring this over to here. I know you can't see this, so I should probably make it so you can see the whole screen. Okay, wait, how do I do this? This? No. This. Then if I hide this. Yeah. Then paste this into here. Okay. Maybe that. Maybe that. Oh, you like that? You like that fucking the SpongeBob bubbles? Yeah. I kind of popped off. Kind of popped off at that idea. All me, not SpongeBob at all. Alright, so the first one. I think the first one I want to try. Maybe we'll start bottom up. I don't really know how big the scene needs to be though. Bring our little guy in for reference. Bring our camera in. The horizon's about there. I'll drop this camera view down to like 20 maybe. Oh, I don't know. Drop the passporto. Is music still playing? The Uncharted soundtrack. We ran out. Okay, so we kind of have. Let's go landscape. Rock. I want a rock though. I want like a fucking boulder. Maybe. Looks a bit brainy. Don't severe it. Hey. Okay. Sure. I don't know, do for now while I try and figure out. I kind of want everything. Oh, no, fuck it. I'm using cubes. To transform, geometry, controller. Way too big. Thing is, how far away actually is that? That's like So one of my biggest issues with Blender is I don't really know like the units of measurement for stuff like this. So I'm like, I'd like to try and build a scene 1-to-1 because then your volumetrics work good and everything else kind of works good and it always kind of works nicely. But it's really hard to figure out, to be honest. Gotta get some cheap leading lines. Yeah, maybe something like that. Bring these over here. Maybe this could be kind of cool. Just like as if we've. No, it's like competing. I want this to be slightly above. Just kind of get some rocks going. Then nothing would be fully white, so we want to drop this down a little bit here. Because it's going to really just mess with the way you look at stuff. The material. Okay. How is this scene built? Yeah, of course. So divide that a few times, we'll grab an edge. Honestly, I might sculpt it instead. Let's go subdivision. Multi. I think multi-resolution is actually better for sculpting. Now I want to grab my little tablet. You connected? You connected, little guy? Oh, you are. Just fuck yeah, hell yeah. You should. I need to adjust you. Welcome. Yeah, using the sculpting tools for modeling. Yeah. I always forget about it. And I try to do where you like grab a I don't know, the little dart and put it up, but then everything it looks domed all over, like really. I know you could do stuff with like noise textures and that, but I'm not fully advanced in Blender, like in any way. I it's mostly right, cool. I just basically know how to put scenes together. That kind of just does me. I am gonna get into like modeling the hard surface because obviously it's need to be able to do it all the time, always. So yeah, geometry nodes are like a whole. It's like a whole thing. Need to. We'll transform Sarah into geometry. Cool. Sculpt. Cool. And I want my brush to be, I guess, less dense. Yeah, maybe that's fine. It's just that. I don't want the clay brush though. I want some I do want like some texture. Go away, Fred. Go away. Get out. Go away. It's really hard to see what I'm doing. When everything's grey and there's no light. But you can't. I don't think I can really do it in this mode. Oh no, maybe I can now. No. Okay. Oh, let's go over here. How's that looking? Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. Doesn't need to be crazy. Just gonna get some texture going on the landscape. Cool. What you can also do actually, grab some of these fucking bad boys. Pen those. And then you need to go to scenes object there. Where was scenes? I'm tripping. I thought it was in scenes, but it's not in scenes. Where are you? Oh, and you, okay, then you go here. You go right click and you go mark as asset. Yep. I remember. And then we can go back to view layer. And then these should hopefully not crash. Oh no. What have I done? Oh, I actually saved. Okay, but there's something you need to change. I remember it's really, I think it's... It might be this. The lower, the flatter? No. It was unused data. Because is it strength? It is strength. Okay. I don't get me wrong. It doesn't do a lot. But when we come to make rocks, this right here, this is going to be our bread and butter. Oi! That looks fucking gross. Uncharted piece. Desert scene. Yeah, true. It's like the what was that one object in Yandere Simulator? You know, where it was like a gazillion fucking tries for no reason. It's like a spoon or some shit. What was it? Yeah, it was a toothbrush. 5,592 polygons on a toothbrush. Crazy. Okay, now let's run this back. This is all like roughly a maximum. See, this is kind of nice. So now we're kind of like, you know, we're kind of cooking a little bit here. I might use this to try and lead the eye kind of in the way that the vehicle would go. So it's like go over here. This is the way you must go. What the fuck is this song? This song is like cancer depressing. I do like Gareth Coker though. Guy's the goat. What else we got? Give me some Risk of Rain and some Hollow Knight. Yeah, cubes always get the job done. Cube's the goat. So it's photo bash, and then I think we want probably this one, so we can have a peep at. Yeah. Cool. We just basically need some like really far away mountains. Maybe like this one. Increase that shit. Okay. Does it really have to be this big? I guess it could probably just like fit in here. Because it's catching the light, which is making it very strange. Can we color ramp it at all? Not really. What if we emission it? It's like fine, but I think the image is bad because like the lighting is inconsistent with the rest of the scene. I know it doesn't really matter. It's just testing some stuff out, but you know, we want to go on. Oh yeah, see some of these. Oh yeah. Like this one. Bring it right down. Honestly, I'd say we even just like just demolish that face. Maybe something like that. Probably just cover this. Oop. Secret. No one else back there. Secret. Look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful. See, you kind of picture it now. You can. I mean, I had no doubts you could never picture it anyway. You know what I mean? You're so dialed in. But this is competing a little bit too much. Bring it down. And then I need to like mesh cube. I don't really know what a car looks like. Got a little guy gone. Huh? I feel like this is kind of coming along with that. Could probably maybe adjust the lighting a little bit. I don't even know if I like this lighting. The lighting is coming from this side though, based off of the background image. Which I don't like. I also think if we just hit this with the old-fashioned rotator. No, because now this is competing with this. Alright, we'll come back to that. How's it done in this piece? Yeah, some mountains. You kind of see the lands. I think that's the issue with this piece at the moment is you don't really get to see the landscape roll off into the distance. I think I want kind of want you to be able to see the landscape. So I might bring this down a little bit then. Maybe a little bit more like that. And then we can throw in some like maybe some like distant rocks, kind of actually chilling on the horizon line. Okay, and now we need cursor to world origin. Mesh, we need to cube it. Make this guy big as hell. Cool. This is going to be our volumetrics. Do you know much about Blender? You like a big 3D guy? I guess you're game dev, right? So you kind of got to be a bit of everything. Kind of favorite settings are like 0.005, but then on the anisotropy we go 0.9, and I think that can give really nice kind of volumetrics. Oh, I like the kind of evening one. Feels like you've been traveling for a while. Where's your low poly modeling? Since it's the most efficient, I really like it. Yeah, fair. What kind of games you? Oh, you already said, like, is there anything you wanna, any kind of like personal projects you wanna tackle? Anything that like kind of your dream game to make? I like this. Then I want to do is go maybe, oh yeah, VFX smoke. Is it on Steam? Reminds me of Astroneer. Similar, kind of similar, like a world look as Astroneer. Seems really cool. Yeah, I think that stuff's cool. Yeah, I really like Astroneer. Used to be a huge fan of this art style growing up. Like I had like, did you ever have the wallpapers where it was like this texture, like this fucking green, like these triangles? It was like a gradient as a wallpaper. Fucking sick. Also reminds me of Dead Poly. Kind of like a low poly zombie survival game. There's another one, right? Surround Dead. Yeah, I think if executed well, this style's really nice. But these characters, I think they're super cool. The zombies and stuff. It is really time efficient. Get that like Mario 64. Mario 64 style going. Mario Sunshine. Really nostalgia bait the fuck out of everybody. Yeah, exactly. Full retro style. Can I make these? I want to make these not. I feel like them casting shadows is really what's freaking me out. I don't know how to do it. It's like viewport, right? Object, viewport, display, shadows. I don't know, because like I don't want this line. I don't like this harsh line in the ground. Anyway, let me just shrink this way down because it was actually going to be for smoke coming off the back of the vehicle. What's your goal with the 3D scene? Do you just use it as a reference or do you want to paint over? Yeah, so I don't know. It's mostly just to keep the idea kind of going. I use it to, like, you know how you would white box levels? So I use it to do that. So I get everything in place. I kind of see how the composition works. I spend some time figuring out all the lighting. Like right now, I really think I want some, like, maybe it's like a harsh foreground shadow. Just to kind of really separate. Add just like a little bit of visual interest. Kind of across this. Separate the story a bit, like we're just coming from somewhere. Yeah, exactly. It's just like a really quick way of iteration. And then sometimes what I do, here's one I made earlier. So some stuff I've been working on. Well, I get bursts of motivation and I take like 3 months break. Yeah, see the car coming up. So maybe, yeah. So maybe we move this. So it's like half in, half out. And then we could get some like brake lights on here. It's like a nice little like spot of color. And then we'll lead your eye over to here. I think maybe this actually behind here. It's like a massive burst. Put this on like 0.3. Just lower it a little bit. Bring this over here. Separate these rocks out a little bit. Kind of add some in here. Just like a little bit of. What was the thing? Oh yeah. Projects, personal work. Projects. Uncharted piece. Uncharted first thumbnail. Uncharted sketches. So this is a thumbnail I made using 3D. I was going to make more. I think this is my favorite way of doing thumbnails. And then basically what I did is I did a really low poly concept in 3D. And then from there I just basically painted over using just random brushes, some photo textures. And then the nice, like, it kind of works with all the color, even though I painted it in black and white, because you're working with the same values and you're really just focusing on lighting and values. Then when you remove the color, it still kind of works. This blue is a bit jarring into the gray, but there's something like painterly about it. It looks really rough, which I like. Like, I think this thumbnail, pretty sick. And I did something similar with a piece that I was inspired by from Black Myth Wukong. This one. Again, it started out as just this. And then I painted the whole thing in black and white. And then when I removed the color, or when I removed the black and white, the colors just worked. And the brush strokes worked because it was all like value sketching. But you can kind of see, like, if I just lie, right? Me when I lie. And I bring this one up here. Like, we're kind of cooking now with, like, this feels like professional work. Versus, say, this. But these are still viable. Just different style. But I prefer this style. This makes me feel better about myself. I feel like I'm really diving into something with this. I struggle with this. It's quite frustrating. But, yeah, I don't know. So that's kind of what I'm going with this. Gonna kind of take this in. Usually I just kind of just throw it in black and white here. Grayscale. Kind of figure some stuff out. Yeah. Yeah, basically it. Then I'll probably paint over this. Just kind of break up some of these edges, make them look like rocks, do some photo textures over. I'm not going off the best base though, like with this one. At least these were like rock shaped. I'm just kind of working with a big cube, so I may change this. I actually might just be able to subdivide it. Subdivision surface. Yeah. Mark crease. I don't know, maybe something like that. And then actually add modifier, generate multi-resolution. I think I want it like this. And then we'll go to sculpt mode real quick. I'll grab some of these. Subdivide. Subdivide. It's really low res. I guess it's not that many. I don't know. Why does this keep changing? Sculpt mode. Yeah, there we go. Ain't much, but it's honest. At least we got a rock. Oh. Kind of a fucking ass though, so I think I'm just gonna stick to my. Oh, Blender crashed. Oh, I don't want to look. Please recover last session. No, bro, this isn't even the same thing. This was such an old concept. How was that the last session? Oh no, dude. That wasn't the last set. Oh, hold on. I think we're fine. Excellent work. Yeah, I think we're fine. We're just missing. We're basically just missing this. But we absolutely take those. Yeah, actually, thank God. Yeah, maybe like this, and then kind of have the smoke covering this side a little bit. I don't know. I need to go in, sketch about, have a look. The main thing that's throwing with this piece is this fuck ass rock I'm looking at here. It's really like kind of fucking the whole vibe up. I am gonna quickly go grab a drink though. So I'll be back in a second. I am back. I've returned from my journey. True real hydration moment actually. I haven't drank water in honestly too long. Too long than I want to admit. Are you excited for Christmas? I'm fucking gassed for Christmas. I'm a big Christmas respecter. Where's your work? Yeah, I mean, you should take time off. Regenerate for the new year. I think it's important. I tell you what. I've got such a monster of a PC. No shop blender is this unoptimized. Like, there's no way it should be crashing this much. Yeah, I think it's perfect. This isn't going to be the landscape I use anyway. I'm going to probably make a bunch of like mesh planes with different textures and then create assets from those and then scatter them around. I've not really dealt with dealing with like kind of larger landscapes. Like I've got Gaia, which is a landscape making tool. I find it really hard to use. I could try and use it for this. It could be fun. I just don't really understand how you texture a large landscape. Because it's not like I can use a 4K texture across a landscape that's like, I don't know, 2000 by 2000 meters or whatever. So do you just use, I don't know how you do it. Do you use like a like a low res texture, and then in the closer stuff is where you start to put your planes and your rocks and you build it up. You just using the landscape to get the land. I guess you are. You're just treating the landscape as an asset. I need to ask someone what the point of Gaia is and how you would use it, I suppose. I guess you would make the landscape, treat it as a large asset, then build into it. Yeah, gradients make sense. I don't know if I... Yeah, paint some details on it. Yeah. Kind of wanna... Is that like... Is that too ridiculous? Are people gonna be like, what the fuck is that really tall thing? They're just gonna assume it's a giant rock. Maybe if I do some... I really like dark light. I think it's like such a simple way to get. Then you definitely need like stuff going on in the background here. Some like larger mountain stuff. But I don't want it competing. I really don't want to compete with this. This needs to stand on its own. Well, then when you have the fog though, it should break that up quite nicely. Mate, does that even compete? I don't think it does compete. I think that should be fine having that bit there. Holy shit. Babe, wake up, Halo theme tune. I don't know. Holy shit. I'm being advertised to. Frick you, bitch. Frick you. I'm not sure about the shed on the main mountain in the middle. What do you think? Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe if the lighting was harsher, it could create quite a cool... Maybe not. Yeah, I don't know if I do like this one. Or this one. I wonder how if we rotate the light to be behind the mountain. Are we freaking with that? Could be kind of cool. Could be kind of cool to explore. But that really screams like this is the place you need to go. Yeah, no, that's fair. But then the issue is now we're losing that like really nice light, dark, shadow. The car coming out from like the mountain as it gets opened up into this landscape stuff, and I think that's important. Oh, we can really get this dark. Well, not that dark. I don't know where's our guy? All the way back there. Try and enclose him a little bit. Now that makes, I know you can't see it, but these three here, look at the difference that makes in that shadow. So much better. It's the thing with like building these scenes is like you really need to build off screen as well, because stuff behind the camera makes, especially because like I guess it's simulated, Makes such a big difference. There's like 4 head as it is. And I just need to be careful that these mountains here aren't competing in any way. But like, do you follow this mountain line over? Maybe not this one. I feel like I'm following that down a little bit. Following this down to this bit here. All roads lead to this guy over here. Might be a little bit too claustrophobic to the left. Nah, I think that's fine. Then we just need like a point of interest. I mean, like, no. But you picking up what I'm putting down. You're picking up what I'm putting down. Kind of a mouth breather, aren't I? I keep catching myself with my mouth open. I need to fucking fix up. I fucking hate mouth breathers. Not those were there. Okay, well. You hear that? You hear that like need. Does this read as like, do you reckon this maybe some like ruins? Driving through what was once some sort of bustling like town maybe, and then there's like something going on here. I don't know. I really need to go away and find some inspiration to what this thing could be. Maybe something in mountain. I feel like maybe something in mountain could work. Maybe we're driving down a main road towards a temple. Yeah, I was thinking temple. Temple could be cool. It's very Uncharted to find a temple. Maybe like statues. I need to figure out where. Jesus, unked up over here, sleepy. I need to figure out where in the world this is, and then I guess find inspiration of what kind of ruins and stuff you would find in that part of the world. We're deserty, some like Africa. It's true. It's true. Why are we? Why would we be driving here? I'll just save this. I don't know. Good question. I don't know. Let's run this in some B and W. Let's take a screenshot of it. Let's take this bad bitch into PS. Hello? Hello? Alright, let's try it. Let's go sketching, I guess. What the helly? What the helly? Yeah, yeah. Okay. No, I don't understand. What are you doing? What are you doing? Alright, too confusing. Let's pack that bitch away. For the meantime. Too much. There's like nothing on my desk, but too much on my desk. That makes sense. Okay, and then I'm gonna move the chop over to here. I'm gonna bring you guys over here. And then I'm gonna bring OBS also over here, so I can look at myself twice. And I'm gonna switch over to and now you'll also notice that I've got a SpongeBob wallpaper, and it may come across like I'm obsessed with SpongeBob. Maybe that is what it is. And I'm gonna pull the tablet over here. Yeah. Okay. Now the first thing I like to do when I bring a black and white sketch into Photoshop is I like to make a new layer. I like to hit it with black, go to color dodge. I like to push, really like to push my lights. So then you set it to like some grays and you just kind of brush in here. Just kind of. It's going to be deserty. It's going to be dusty. Light's going to be catching a lot of the air. Kind of bring that one in. Kind of like this. Just really kind of. Then we'll kind of come in here. Just kind of make this darker. And yeah, you notice like from this to this, instantly your focus is really starting to kind of get drawn now to this central bit of light. Kind of don't want it to hit this. I really want it to be on this beam. Yeah. And then I'll probably merge all the layers. I've got this brush here. Really like this brush. I just gotta start picking at colors and just start adding. I fucking hate color dynamics. Get that shit off. Yeah, so I start to just like kind of paint in just some like lines. It just kind of adds a little bit of some visual noise, I suppose. Just kind of keep it real rough and loose. Like we know that this is going to probably be kind of mountainous, some sort of rock formation. So I'm going to start to kind of loosely paint that in. Kind of break up some of these straight lines. Kind of keep it rough, very gestural. May even paint more zoomed out. And then we don't know what these are yet. These are just friends. And then I also don't know what the car is going to be. Also haven't figured out the car yet either. I don't even know what these cars look like, so I should probably get a reference. Kind of like a kind of big tractor right now. I know they've got like bars, I guess, and then you kind of see the driver. You know what? Fuck it. Then we'll get some like back seats going on. Yeah, leaning up, bro. If I get, oh, you're so fucking right. Just the real question is, how do I draw it? Maybe a little something like that. I don't know. Kind of does it. And the back's kind of in darkness, so we'll kind of shadow that over again. Fuck it, that'll do. Yeah, he does a massive, doesn't he? Okay, I'm gonna revisit that idea in a moment. I may even just find like a photo image of it because I kind of want to get some matte painting kind of going on in here. Okay, let's see what we can do in the way of kind of matte painting. What do I have in terms of photo ash? Well, we do quite literally have that desert one, so maybe we can kind of do some stuff with this. Let's get rid of that. That layer was that shit was pissing me off. Oh, by the way, don't feel pressure. I don't think we're gonna chat. I feel the need to make everything perfect. Livestream is incredible again. It's not a team. Stream was put pressure on me. Nah, you're good, man. It was actually, I think it's nice, to be honest. Being able to bounce ideas off people. Kind of what would happen in and it's kind of a professional environment anyway, so I think it's cool. And also, if I never want to do an idea, it's usually because I can't do it, and I want to get better at kind of doing stuff. So, what kind of car would you ride in the desert? What are they called? Off-road car. Yeah, this thing. Why? Overland vehicles? Overland vehicles. Kind. My mustache is tickling. Yeah, I play it. Me and some friends hop on. Yeah, I love Destiny. It's actually like the game I've invested the most hours into. Aside from Counter-Strike. I was 1600. And I do actually play it like a lot. And then yeah, I play. Yeah, it used to be good. It's pretty fucking cooked at the moment, to be fair. Why can't I play it? Why isn't League loading up? Yeah, me and friends, we still play League. Like we hop on together. Together? Look at this. Oh, boom, bro. Twitch York brand. Oh, I'm so fucking good. I love Twitch. I do love Twitch from League of Legends. I'm a big rat. I'm a big rat enjoyer. Silver though. Silver and bronze and solo duo. But it's not my fault. I swear I had terrorists on my team last time I played. That was fucking terrorists. I need to cut this up perfectly. What am I doing? Make this shit black and white. Yeah, good enough. Yeah. One for under the car. One under each wheel. Take a little bit of contact shadow. Fills up. I like to go for a little bit of motion blur. Try and find the same. It ain't perfect. Lord knows it ain't perfect, but it's good. It's good enough. I actually have. There's a brush. From here. This brush. Let's do some of that. Just like that. Are you sampling? Oh, you're sampling layers. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I never really got into Valorant. I always really wanted to, especially coming from CS. But like, respectfully, I cannot stand the community. It is awful. Try and break this model up a little bit. It's like a little bit too obvious. It's a texture or just like an asset. I think it's quite disorienting. Thanks, man. I don't. To be honest, I don't. Sometimes I want to stream like during the day, but then I just kind of end up doing stuff during the day, or like it's like me time. So I'm probably gonna try and keep it to the evening, because that's when like the house is asleep and I kind of have, you know, I can kind of just do whatever, without the disturbance of people. Just find it a little more creative in the evening as well. So I'm probably try and stick to around this time. Then I'll figure out a schedule kind of in the new year. But it might just be a case of I'm live when I'm live, unfortunately. Yeah, man. Should. You may never see me again, to be honest. I hope not, though. I do want to stream more. I know this brush exists. Throw it on. Yeah, man. I do appreciate the follow. Hopefully I stream more. Hopefully we can fucking learn art together, to be honest. Because I have been slacking fucking massively. I don't know, maybe this is fine for some smoke. Try to move through on behind each wheel. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. Need to go back to trying to break up some of these shapes. Yeah, man, 100%. Why? No. Okay, well. Run me the goat, I guess. Turn off cooler. Actually, we could probably go. Maybe we could smudge brush it. I like smudge brush. It really has like a painter feel. Wait, that's not smudge brush. also not a smudge brush. This is a smudge brush though. What's you change? Yuck. Do you got any smudge brushes in here? And I guess I could use this as a smudge brush and then sample layers, but I don't need to. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Hey. Yeah. No, that was fucking. I don't know where I pulled that color from. Whatever, just do some loose, like, kind of paint over work. I don't think it's massively important. Just gotta try and break the shape up a little bit. Then just kind of try and figure out what we even want in here. Probably not that. Okay, I'm gonna go back to trying to get some photo bashed elements into this, I think. Like, this has tracks in. My god. Really do want to see if I can line these. Line these tracks up, because that would be. I just feel like this floor is not. From our perspective, it needs to be more. This gradient map feels too dark. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so not gradient map. Maybe just black and white. Yeah, better. I'll just yeah. Okay. We can look through some inspiration or some photo bashing elements. This seems kind of cool. Alright, man. I gotta pop off to bed. Recording you. Yeah, man. Hope you keep the VODs. Oh, bro. I'll try and figure out the VODs. Thanks for stopping by. It was a really nice chat. Appreciate you. Definitely made the stream more interesting for me because I was losing my mind like 40 minutes in. So yeah, it'd be cool to see you again, man. Have a good rest of your evening. Night, buddy. Real fucking disgusting dust particles in here. Not really anything on the color lookup. Just a little bit too dark, I think. Oh. Yeah, see, this has opened up a lot about this needs to be. That needs to be so much brighter. Oh my days. I think more like that, and then the whole. Oh, I don't know what it is. I think I'm gonna call it though. Figure this out tomorrow. Just because I feel like I'm noodling for the sake of noodling right now. I definitely think out of these, it's definitely the weakest, which really makes me sad. Maybe we can adjust it a bit though. Just bring some of these darks down. Bring some of these lights back up. Just really work on some of this contrast a little bit. Filter sharpen. Smart sharpen. Just kind of do the classic. Maybe a little bit too much actually. I don't know, maybe something like that. Everything fucking sucks, bro. This darker color probably works quite nicely. Maybe something like that. Just yeah. Maybe something. I'd like a little bit of light to hit this. Try and bring your eye to it. But I don't know. It's fucking so difficult, man. It's so difficult. Let's try another one of these. Color dodge it. What is this? Is this Blood True? I fucking love some Blood True music right now. Sounds like Blood True. Wahoo! Right now, and that needs to be dark because it's competing with the background too much. We can lighten this up though to bring your eye to it. What's up, Injust? How are you, bro? How are you doing on this fine evening? Smoke. Fog. Don't want to talk about my artwork too. Oh, nice, bro. Well, what kind of artwork do you do? Yeah, what does some of this about? And then just pray no one ever looks over this this right side here. That sounds sick. What's the visual novel about? Tell me more. Right, please stay on screen. Is it your visual novel or is it like client work? Oh, so, bro, game jams are sick. Is it like a student project? I remember when I was in uni, we had to do a bunch of game jams. Not sure if they're a student, but they seem to have worked on some. Nice. Yeah, that's sick. I guess it's kind of what you need to do while looking for work is, or building a portfolio is try and get involved in some game jams and stuff. Are you like freelance or anything, or is it something you're pursuing at the moment? Oh, fight for my life to get this fucking Wacom fucking nib holder open. Holy shit, bro. Yeah. Oh, again, I tell myself it's just for fun. Yeah, it's never just for fun. It's never just for fun. Oh, actually, honestly, keep it for fun. Get it twisted. It's all for fun. Thanks for the follow, Ingest. I need new nibs. Ah, you fucking bitch. Release me. Yes. Release it. Release them. Okay. Do you want to share? Do you want to share your artwork? I'd love to see. Into the nib graveyard they go. What nib did this one have? Just a, I might go. Like a felt tip nib. Let's see what the freak this one's about. I probably won't critique. I'm just curious what it looks like. I don't know if I'm in any position to give critique. I've messed up all my shit now. I'm so uncomfortable. Put this back. Pull the graphics tablet back across. Nice. Okay, I can do my best. I'm like real stinky when it comes to no, you know what? Fuck it. I can critique this shit. Send this bitch over. This one I'm working on reeks, but it's just a thumbnail. And to be honest, I've spent like 3 hours on it. I should not be spending 3 hours on a thumbnail. That is criminal. But it's one of those. It's just one of those things. I'm still learning the thumbnail process. You know, I've got the ability to execute a piece, but I don't have the ability to iterate and design. So I'm kind of going back and having to learn a bunch of fundamentals. No, the link did not show up. Like it didn't even like ban a link. What's that? Oh, is that? Wait, why is it doing that? Who the fuck is blocking it? Do I need to do like exclamation mark? Fuck, I don't know it. How to enable links in Twitch chat. Tutorial time. Exclamation mark permit. Okay, hold up. In just 90. Well, now I just look like a fucking idiot. Why did it do that to me? Bro, I just got like clowned. Try send me what are you sending it on? Which website? Okay, it was okay, so Imgur actually just won't even work for me because it's banned in the UK unless I give the government my ID, which I don't want to do. So send it on I like this website. This one. And then just don't send the .com part, and then I'll add the .com part. I think it's as good as this thumbnail I was gonna get. I'm kind of fucking done with it, to be honest. I did not add my boards though. I need. Okay, hold on. Nope, still not working. Okay, hold on a sec. I'm glad we're trying this out because I actually want to get this sorted because I would like other people to share their art with me. So stay with me. You're my guinea pig. Yeah. The link still didn't work, so give me one sec. No, like they're just coming up. Like they're just coming up as 3 little dots. And I have no idea why. Can you whisper it to me? Do I have whispers enabled? Yeah, Whisperer. Auto mod uses machine learning to detect no filtering. I need to do this myself. Kind of don't want smart detection. Okay, so talk me through them. What did you say? And then here's one of the renders for the game. If you want to peek at it. So this one, okay, so we got two here, right? This is the game one on the left. And then this is personal work. No, game on the right, personal work on the left. Oh shit, I dropped my pen. I think really, really cool. I just said no, actually you didn't miss anything. I was saying, so the one on the left is a personal painting, like a study. The one on the right is the illustration for the novel. Yeah, just making sure I get that correct. It'd be crazy if the one on the left was the illustration. Yeah, so I think it looked really cool. I like the study. It's a value study. I would like to see on the value study, future reference, I would like to see you block in some of these larger local shapes. For example, I would like to see you go, obviously this is traditional medium, so it's probably a little bit harder, but I would like to see you kind of go in with some of these here, like this. Just kind of start blocking in, because these are all part of the values still. The same with these clouds. I don't know if that was the goal of the study. But these are all visual elements that make up the image. So I would like to see you kind of carry on to blocking these really large pieces of color, because it's all kind of, it makes up the composition of the piece. And then depending on how deep you want to go into that is where the piece will start to really come alive, and that's where the study gets pushed further. As a value study though, I think you've done a good job, especially because it's traditional as well, which is really hard because you can't just color pick your grays. You actually have to mix them as well. So good job on that one. And then this one, this is also really cool. My only thing would be to, I've made you gray and I don't know how. I've made you gray. How have I made you gray? What is happening? I think this is really cool. There's a software I own called Lazy Nozumi, where it helps you with perspective, because perspective is really hard. Or you could block this out in 3D to get your perspective more dialed in, but perspective is really difficult. And I think you've done a great job with this, especially for such a short amount of time that you said. Yeah, okay. Clip Studio Paint, right, I see. Yeah, I would definitely dial in. So like my main difficulty with this is I don't know where the horizon line is supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be up here. And then I guess buildings would be. Honestly, I don't even know. I don't even fucking know perspective. So fuck if I know. Maybe make. Okay, look. The piece of advice I can give for this: make this inside bit dark grey or dark orange, just because it would be in shadow. So like if you kind of make this. Well, I guess your light source is coming from this way? Don't forget about these roofs either. But I know you're still working on it, you said. Okay. I would do light source coming from... I don't know, champ. It's a difficult piece. It's a difficult piece to lock in with. I hate corridors. I think they're both really good. I think I'm just trying to give advice for the sake of giving advice. Feel free to tell me shut up. I low-key really want to be a tutor. So I think I'm trying to, you know, kind of give you some advice when maybe there doesn't need to be any advice. This is kind of how I would build the scene. I'm a bit of a 3D maxi now. And then you basically just sketch over the 3D. If that makes sense. So how many buildings? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 on either side. A thing at the end. Kind of like this. Add a loop card. Grab this. Bring it up. Yeah, they do. But I don't want to learn perspective or use perspective lines. I think they depend what kind of illustration you want to do. Most people would just sketch over 3D because it just eliminates all the need for thinking, right? Like I've had to think, I've not had to place perspective lines or anything with this. I've just like I've literally just placed a few blocks. It took 30 seconds, whereas if you're doing perspective lines, you have to set them out. You have to make sure they're right. You have to sketch them. You have to sketch across them. Whereas this is like done. And also now you can also place your light source and you can start to figure out, well, actually, where do I want the lighting to come from? And it just, you're just thinking in 3D when you're doing 3D. So like, where do you want your light to come from? Then what kind of light source do you even want? Maybe slightly duller. It's definitely, if you're in the process of studying, I neglected 3D for so long. And I regret it. I really regret it. Feel free to take a screenshot of this if you want. So you can reference from it. I know it's not one-to-one with yours, but yeah, if you do want a screenshot from this, feel free. I mean, it's not like I did anything, but maybe it'll just give you like a reference to work from. Sorry, do you want me to turn my webcam off so you can get a better screenshot? Hold on, like I fucking got you, gang. Yeah, oh, there you go. Let me know when you've secured the screenshot. Cool. Cool. That's basically how I approach everything, and I think that's how a lot of 3D artists. So I've done some viz dev stuff. Let me show you. Not really. I've dabbled with it. So this piece, it kind of looks illustrated, right? But I just really built the scene in 3D to figure out my lighting and my perspective and my floor, and then I just painted over it and added some bits that were drawn, like the bin, all the detailing on the door, and it kind of takes away from the 3D. And I think if you are pursuing illustration as a career, like there's an artist called Ethan Becker. He's a comic book artist, and I think he worked on Invincible. He had this scene where he had to illustrate a city, and I think he just went into Google Maps 3D view and just basically took a screenshot of that and then traced over it, adjusting some buildings and stuff in perspective to get the backdrop for the Invincible scene. So everyone's using 3D. As I say, my biggest regret is not learning it sooner. I must have gone like 2-3 years being stubborn about 3D because I hated it. I took a course, I learned it in 4 months, like what I needed to learn. I'm always still learning, and it like changed my art like 1,000,000%. Yeah. I did, right? Fucking hated it. But then you kind of go from making work that's like, I don't know if I've even got any of my old artworks anymore because I lost all of my stuff. But it isn't. You think it's boring and tedious as hell when you don't understand. Learning is boring and tedious as hell. You see how quickly I put that tiny little scene together? It's so much fun. Like, hold on. Give me 1 second though. Like, let me... Yeah. These are like... This piece I did with no 3D, just photo bashing. Bad. Okay, bad. Then I learned 3D and I started being able to do stuff like this. Oh, very nice. Let me show you another example. Right, let me try and get 2 birds of the same feather, I suppose. Some of my better non-3D work, you got things like this. I think this is actually still really good. Does what it needs to do. But then you compare it to something like this. Yeah, better. Takes away a lot of the thinking. You kind of just place blocks. 3D is like Lego. And then when it's done, you get to have the excitement of painting over it. Like the piece I'm working on now, this piece, sketched it today, kind of isolated out these three because I'm practicing some thumbnail work. Pretty much, yeah. Look, so I went from this, and then today in 3D, I modeled this. Probably took about an hour. Just place my scene, figure my lighting out. Literally, I only used squares, and because you're illustrating as well, you could get away with low poly stuff quite easily. So I took a course from someone who works at Riot Games. And he basically taught the exact same thing, right? And you go from like this kind of stuff, very simple basic blocks, and then you paint over them and you get works like this. Like this is illustrated. Yeah. And isn't it exciting? Obviously this guy, I mean, this person's extremely talented, but you can see this when you start to see, when you start to understand, like this is very basic. It's very simple modeling. Like unbelievably simple. It's all just cubes. But then when you look at the bigger picture, it paints this perfect scene that you need. And you throw in some painted elements and things really start to come together. Like here you go. So here's the before. Then kind of some painted work over. You see it here. When you start to add these illustrated elements, that's the fucking bread and butter. That's the good stuff. Another really good example is this one. See, very kind of illustrative. Put together some mood boards. Guy's obviously very clearly very talented anyway. But it's no different from what we did with your streets. It's just got a little bit more finesse to it. Just some basic blocks, that's all it is. And then the finished. This is all painted over. You can see this is just a brush, you know what I mean? Like, but it looks so good together. It's the power of 3D. No, don't neglect 3D. It's genuinely really, really good. And when I really do mean it when I say I fucking wish I had that shit on lock early on. And I'm gonna be honest, looking back at the stylized environments of Ulysses, I think I'm gonna go back and re-watch this course. So I took okay, yeah. I would. Good question. I would just do YouTube. Like I would genuinely go learn the basics of Blender.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode
But
of
the main, like if you haven't got a budget, I can put you on some great courses, but they're not cheap. And I don't want to put people into a position where they feel like they've got to like splash out on a bunch of expensive shit and they may not get from it. I like this video. This guy basically talks you through the process where he models the stuff out, very basic, very primitive shapes, super simple, sets it up, and then starts to paint over it, and it builds. He ends up making like this full-on art piece. So I would just look for things like this, integrating 3D into a concept art workflow, Blender for beginners, stuff like that. And then the way I like to learn is when I come across a challenge, how do I make water? I would then go find a tutorial on making water. How do I design metal? I would then go watch a tutorial on designing metal. How do I model a car? I would then go watch tutorials on modeling cars. And then when you kind of start to learn the basics of Blender, you can then pick out a scene like this, right? And you can see the 3D elements in it. And you can see, well, I know obviously these modeling techniques are good, but you could put this scene together with basic primitive shapes. And that's like the most motivating part, is being able to look at people's work that inspire, and think this is achievable to me now because I know the building blocks. Like, I know the inside baseball, I know the secrets behind it. And then it's just about thinking like these professional artists where all of that stuff really comes together. Boobies on the timeline, that's crazy. Scroll past this rapid. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's super exciting. I think the fact you're learning is exciting. And I think you should full send on 3D. It sounds miserable now. I was the same. But then you can like whip out sketches like this in an evening. And kind of brings you back in. You kind of forget about the frustrations of art. Because fuck me, there are so many. And then you get to do fun stuff like fuck it. Place a shit ton of birds. I love birds. And then you learn the basics of like, you know, this is the viewport, so I'm going to have these birds sweeping in. You're always like, you're thinking about composition all the time. I just love art, man. Like, so, you know, like with this piece, this here is the viewpoint. So I'm trying to like, this car is going there. This rock is going there. This is pointing there. These birds are pointing there. This is pointing there. What was that? What was that noise? Oh, was that fucking 100 bitties? Those are my first bits. Let's go. Thanks, Injust. Happy to help. I'm genuinely like, I think I'm like kind of autistic about this stuff. That actually means a lot. Thanks so much. Like these coming in for the composition, all these lines here, pushing your eye over here. And there's like so many small techniques you can do. Honestly, if you have any more questions, please ask. Do my best to give some advice where I can. Kind of really lost a lot of this foreground stuff, so I might just throw some shapes down, see if we can just bring something back. Yeah, I do. I've downloaded Critter. I want to give Critter a go because it seems very painterly. Photoshop was the first software I used. I remember back when I was like 14, I cracked it on like a shitty laptop I had, and I used it ever since. So it's basically just a comfort thing. I know a lot of people use Clip Studio, especially for illustration. I think it's really good for making comics. I just think the kind of work I do, I rely a lot on photo textures and kind of photo manipulation. And it just works better for my workflow. If I was to go to illustration, I think I would try out Clip Studio Paint for sure. Especially because I'm like really inspired by Patrick O'Keefe and all that stuff, like kind of Spider-Verse, Puss in Boots, kind of Sony animation. So I think I would definitely give it a go. But then also I'm kind of stubborn, so I've got the issue of like needing to learn new software, and that's just... It's never a good time, is it? Let's be honest. Never a good time. Cool. Well, I'm going to throw some finals on this thumbnail. What I like to do for finals is I like to add some smart sharpen. I don't know why, but I think it just adds a little something. Then I like to go for a noise. What you do is you do that twice. Then you scale it by 200%. What the hell? The helly? Yeah, 200%. And then yoink that. Throw this on a soft light and then throw it down to about 10. Disgusting fan of noise grain. There's these layers. Maybe I wouldn't mind bringing in just a little bit more contrast. Really highlight some of that. Yeah. And then what we'll do is we'll bring that into the rest of the thumbnails here. And kind of see how it stacks up. Not my best thumbnail. Probably not my worst. You know, not too bad, not too bad. I think it's fine. I like the bigger perspective. You kind of have a bigger environment here. Don't really have much more to say. I will clean up some of these tabs though. Sack this one off. Goodbye. What I'm working on, so I should probably say that before it crashes. That's your amazing artwork. It's your secondary amazing artwork. This is my okay artwork. Very nice. Yeah, so I was just reading a Discord message. File, save as, personal work, projects, Uncharted. Open desert seed. Oh, I may have to call it here soon. Been streaming for 3.5 hours and it's almost, oh, it's just gone 1 AM. Oh, you saved? You saving? How do I make sure? You know, I'm gonna do some checking out, I think, tomorrow. Why people can't link. I want to make sure these save as VODs. It'd be cool to download them and maybe throw them on YouTube. Apologies for the fucking swallowing ASMR. I actually knocked my mic into my throat. This is a really good, I would like that. It's a good model. I like that model. Okay, it's not downloadable. Fuck it. Freak. Yeah, you're good, you're good. Those are good. That's good. I think the rest is fine. Oh, I dropped a load of frames. I wonder when that was. I don't really think it matters because I'm not exactly doing anything massively intensive anyway. Okay, I'm going to call the stream there. Really appreciate you, Ingest, for dropping by and sending 100 biddies. I will try to go live again soon. I'm still trying to build a routine. I'm trying to get over fucking... Honestly, streaming is kind of scary. Also, I usually like watch movies and stuff or YouTube videos while I'm painting. So the fact I can't do that is really freaking with me quite heavy. So... it is, especially because I just jumped straight on with like face cam and stuff. I'm literally super scared. I don't know. I think it's been fine though. I've just been like fucking locking in, cracking on with some artwork. I'm going to continue pushing this piece though. So if I do stream again, hopefully you'll be able to catch the 3D part where we build some assets, play some scenes together and stuff. But yeah, appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully your piece goes well. I would like to see an update when I'm next live. Good luck with your game jam. Hopefully it gets published and you can throw that in the CV/portfolio. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.